Hello! Today, we'll be showing you how to replace the motherboard in a Samsung XE503C Chromebook. Before you begin your replacement, you will need a few tools. An anti-static mat is recommended to prevent electrostatic discharge, which can damage electronic parts. A small, magnetic-tip Phillips head screwdriver will be necessary for this replacement. A spudger will also come in handy during this replacement. You can use either plastic or metal, whichever you prefer. If you have tweezers, you may also want to have them handy, as they might be useful when dealing with small parts. The first step in the motherboard replacement process will be to remove the 9 screws in the bottom cover of the laptop. Once all 9 screws are removed, the next step will be to use your spudger to go around the perimeter of the bottom cover, carefully prying it until it comes off. Next, you will disconnect the battery cable from the motherboard. Now, you will remove the 4 battery screws. You can now remove the battery. Next, you will disconnect the trackpad cable from the motherboard. Now, you will disconnect the keyboard cable from the motherboard. Next, you will disconnect the speaker cable from the motherboard. Now, you will disconnect the LCD cable from the motherboard. Next, you will disconnect the 2 Wi-Fi antenna cables from the motherboard. Now, you will disconnect the cable that runs from the daughter board to the motherboard. Now, you will remove the 3 port cover screws and then remove the port cover. Next, you will remove the 4 motherboard screws. Now, you can remove the motherboard. The first step in the installation of your replacement motherboard will be to put it into place on the keyboard assembly. Next, you will replace the port cover and the 3 port cover screws. Now, you can replace the 4 motherboard screws. Next, you can reconnect the trackpad cable to the motherboard. The next step will be to reconnect the keyboard cable to the motherboard. Now, you will reconnect the speaker cable to the motherboard. The next step will be to reconnect the LCD cable into the motherboard. The next step will be to reconnect the 2 Wi-Fi antenna cables to the motherboard. Now, you want to reconnect the cable that runs from the daughter board to the motherboard. Now, you will set the battery back into place and replace the 4 battery screws. Now, you can reconnect the battery cable into the motherboard. The next step will be to snap the bottom cover back on. The final step will be to replace the 9 bottom cover screws. You have now successfully replaced the motherboard in your Samsung Chromebook. Good job!